Just because you both are believers doesn't mean you're gonna have a good marriage. There's plenty of Christian couples that are living like roommates. They're fighting all the time. They're constantly at war with each other. How is that the case? How is it that y'all don't mind that I do laundry while talking to you guys, right? Okay. But how is it that two believers can have a bad marriage? If believers of Christ believe in the Bible teaches what marriage should look like, what a husband should look like, and what a wife looks like. The problem is, it doesn't necessarily mean that you've read the whole Bible and that you understand the whole Bible and that you apply the Bible to your life and to your marriage. I guarantee there are lots of golden nuggets in the Bible that you have probably not even thought to apply to your marriage, which is why it's important to just be constantly in the Word, constantly reading. As a wife, there are several Bible verses that literally changed my way of thinking as a wife, my way of thinking towards my husband, and just our marriage. The one that was probably the most impactful was, I live out scripture, but I cannot quote it word for word, so just bear with me. There's a verse that says, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, like high power, like origins of the universe. That's what we're wrestling against, not flesh and blood. That told me that my battles with my husband are not physical, like personal. They're not personal battles. They're spiritual battles. And if he is operating in a godly spirit and I'm operating in a godly spirit, we're on the same team, right? So that has to mean that we're not battling each other. We're battling something else. And the more that I just kept training myself and reminding myself, that is where the battle is, up here somewhere, not with me and him. The more that I remembered that, the easier it was for me to fight with him and not against him. It was just a reminder that we're on the same team. And I think a lot of spouses, not just wives, but a lot of spouses honestly forget that they're on the same team. Even when you don't feel like you're on the same team, if you know that you're operating in a godly spirit and you know that your spouse is operating in a godly spirit, that means y'all are on the same team, right? Especially in your marriage, where you guys have become one. Another verse, probably more so be for husbands. Don't ask me where in the Bible it says this, but it says that a husband's prayers will not be heard by God if the husband is not treating his wife kindly. Dang. If you're a husband, the leader of the family, like the protector of the family, and your prayers can't even get through, they are blocked until you treat your wife right. Dang. Like how many people remember that verse? How many husbands remember that verse and think of it on a daily basis? Another one, my husband and I were reading in Luke this morning that, it says something like, what does it matter if you only love the people that love you back, or if you only give expecting to receive something back? Even sinners do that. And obviously we're called to be more than that. So we should love regardless, or we should give without expecting return. I immediately applied that to marriage because a lot of times I feel like spouses love and serve and give conditionally. And I get it. I used to be that wife early in our marriage. You know what? I honestly, if my husband and I were fighting, and this was back when we both had a job working for somebody else, I would get up and pack his lunch before I went to work. But if we were fighting, arguing, disagreeing, not talking to each other, I wouldn't pack his lunch for work that day. And I wouldn't tell him. I would just leave, and then, he would be getting ready for work, and him thinking that, oh, okay, I'm just gonna grab my lunchbox and be on the way. And then he sees, oh, there's no lunchbox. Now I have like 2 minutes to try to throw something together for the rest of the day. All because we were disagreeing with each other. That was conditional of me. That was not right. That was not love. And I think the more you can get in a habit of applying biblical concepts and verses and scripture and stories, biblical stories to your marriage, just the easier situations become, and you develop different habits as a wife. You don't think the same, and if that goes on long enough, you'll completely change as a wife. The finger pointing, I used to do a lot. I talk about that all the time. I used to point my fingers at my husband all the time. God, please fix him. You need to like change him, make him do this, make him stop doing this. I don't know why he did this. Convict him, smite him, Lord, you know. And I never pointed any fingers back at myself. And around year 2 or 3 of our marriage is when I did start to be like, you know what? God, show me the wife that I need to become for my husband. Like, let's just be accountable here. What is it that you need me to do? Tell me what he needs for me to be. Show me what a good wife looks like. My prayers changed because my heart changed and my perspective changed. And because of all of that, my marriage changed. And I mean day and night difference. Day and night difference, okay? Everybody likes to come on here and say, Victoria, why don't you talk about your past? I talk about our past all the time. I was not a good wife. We did not have a good marriage. Oh, look, we changed these things and I became respectful. Now we have a great marriage. Nobody wants to hear that though. I'm literally giving you game based on experience. And it's because I know that I'm not the only one that experienced that. Every marriage goes through hard seasons. Every spouse has to go through an unlearning process, especially if you weren't taught growing up what it looks like to be a good husband, what it looks like to be a good spouse. You should do this, you shouldn't do this. This is respectful. This is not respectful. This is dishonorable, you know. White lies are not okay. Just small things that we're not taught. You have to unlearn. You have to unlearn how to be selfish. We are taught by society to be selfish. Look out for yourself. Self. Me. And marriage calls us to become one. How can you be selfish when you are literally one with the other person? I want to challenge you guys to dig into scripture more. Not just the scripture that you've already gone over. Don't just skip past the parts that you've already gone over. We're always in a different season of life, or like a different mindset based off of things that we're currently going through. And so if you read the same part of the Bible 20 times, but on 20 different days, while 20 different things were going on during those days, it's going to add more context to you, or you're going to apply that to a different situation. Now, if you don't have time for God, if you don't have time to read the Bible, I feel like nobody has time to read the Bible in this busy world, but we can all make time. Get up earlier. There are 24 hours in a day. I'm sure that you can find 20 minutes of that to dig into the word. Is your marriage worth that? Is your spouse worth that? Are you worth that? It doesn't even have to be for your marriage. Maybe your marriage is not struggling. Maybe your marriage is absolutely perfect. That's great. You still need to be growing spiritually and not being stagnant. If this video was helpful to you, make sure you subscribe and go watch more of these. On this channel, me and my husband, we definitely hold husbands and wives accountable for growing in their marriage. And my husband is even launching a men's group just for the guys. It's called House of Kings. I'm not gonna give too much on it until it's fully released, but once it's released, you should see it in the description. Make sure you share this video somewhere, to your stories, to your Facebook, to your friend, your mom, your single friends, or whatever, somebody that you know that's about to get married. And let's start unlearning everything that society is teaching us that is killing our marriages. See you guys next video.